Welcome to the EnduroGP and to the 6th round of the championship in Portugal. Castelo Branco is in the very centre of Portugal, close to the Spanish border, meaning it has witnessed many battles. The Mediterranean temperatures make it perfect for growing olives, and it's known for its wool as well. The name literally means White Castle, referring to the original 12th century temple. Portugal is hot. The sun is expecting to heat the earth to over 40 degrees. The field experienced this heat in Greece last time out, but will be no more prepared. 60 kilometres of the challenge repeated 3 times over the day. With the true enduro, the liaisons also provide a strong test to tire the rider further between action. The sand and dust, it's horrible for the riders, especially in the Maxis cross test. Longer than usual here in Portugal, 9 kilometres in total. And part of the route takes on a motocross track. The rest runs by the local football stadium. The Technomoose Extreme Test is formed over rocky boulders with a cool backdrop of the city. Riders will need to be strong here. It's very technical. The KTM Enduro Test is exactly that, an enduro. Out in the sun with no shade and at around 12 minutes in length, this will truly test riders' stamina. In E2, it was a route that suited Jamie McCanney. Fast and dusty, the Brit was able to draw on all of his motocross experience to make the gaps when he needed and took a dominant 8 wins for victory on Saturday. Sunday was a little tougher, but he was still in control for his first double victory of the year. Behind him on both days was championship leader Josep Garcia. The Spaniard is becoming increasingly erratic when pushed under pressure, and it seems he enjoys overstepping that limit sometimes. Crashes lost him both victories on both days, despite being stronger in the extreme tests. Saturday, David Guarnieri repeated his podium finishes from Greece with a comfortable gap, but problems on Sunday dropped him to the tail of the field, and he would hand back the podium to Eero Remes. The Finnish rider was solidly 4th best in Portugal, unable to get onto terms with the first 3, and was lucky to be on the podium in day 2. Perhaps his intestine problems are still causing him issues. The double victory means the fight over the 4 remaining rounds will be intense for the championship. Overall, Jamie took 6 points from Josep on this last round, and now the gap is just 6 as we head to Britain, and that should also suit the Yamaha man. The extreme test was incredibly tough in Portugal and saw lots of incident. This is How Not to Do It by Matthias Bellino. In EnduroGP, another man not on form was Christophe Nambertin. Only 10th on day 1, he had no pace in the soft conditions and was carrying a broken foot. He retired on the 2nd day, and the championship fight for Nambo is over. P4 is normally a happy place to be, but not for Loic Lariot. The Frenchman was on the podium positions on both days until he made mistakes, losing himself 5 seconds on the last test of Sunday because he lost his bike in the dust. Saturday was a similar affair, and the dream of the championship is fading. It didn't help Lariot that Matthew Phillips was back on form. Having announced his retirement from EnduroGP at the end of the season, he went on to take 2nd, his best result since Spain. And then he displaced the Frenchman for the podium on Sunday as well. He was beaten on Sunday by returning Christophe Charlier. The Husqvarna rider was on course for a win at points, but couldn't quite find the pace enough. Either way, it was his best result of his rookie season. Championship leader Steve Holcomb was the victor on Sunday by just 4 seconds. Ever since taking the golden plate, he has been in preservation mode, riding smart, not making errors. This win was just his third of the year. On Saturday, he and the rest of the field were completely annihilated by Nathan Watson. Having won last time out in Greece, the KTM man came in and annihilated the field by 1 minute and 23 seconds. He was on course to do the same on Sunday until he snapped his gear selector in the extreme test and dropped to 10th. Such a shame for Watson on day 2, who was so joyous on Saturday, and great to have Phillips back on the podium where he belongs. In the standings, it was a big win for Phillips, up to third now ahead of the two KTM riders, Watson and Nambuta. Holcomb looking great, outscoring his rivals and extending his championship advantage. Next up in September is the UK.